Hey guys, we didn't shoot a video today. I was planning on going around Lafayette and kind of showing you guys some of the signs and whatnot from the Lafayette shooting that businesses have put up in support of the community. But I was at VidCon, while it was all going down, and Krista was here and she was watching the news. And I honestly don't really know much of went down except for the very basics. So I kind of wanted to get Krista's view of what happened, what was going through.
It's what I've heard from the news.
Yeah, okay. But so kind of explain in case somebody who's out there doesn't know what happened and whatnot. Go ahead.
It's Thursday night between 7 and 7:30. A guy bought a movie ticket and went into the movie for Trainwreck. Sometime before the movie started, I don't know if it was before the movie, like before or after he bought his ticket, but he parked his car outside of that theater, and he put his keys on the top of the wheel, right near the exit. You know how there's always the exit.
By the screen.
By the screen.
There's the exit.
So about 20 minutes into the movie, he stood up and he fired a shot, and the witnesses that were in the theater said that it was like silence for a second and nobody knew if it was like a firecracker or they were all, kind of like
it's like frozen
praying that's just nobody screamed. It's like stuff that you see on a movie. They were like, that's not at all what happened. It was like very, like quiet. And so after the first shot, then he kind of shot in a semicircle. And at that point, people started fleeing because they realized that he was shooting a gun. So we have to hand it to the people of Lafayette because people were never screaming in hysterics. There were actually people that were, instead of just running out of the theater, they were pulling other people like around corners and trying to get them out, and people actually running towards the shooter. And so after, I don't know how many rounds he fired, there was a teacher who was shot in the kneecap who actually pulled a fire alarm.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize she was injured.
Yeah, she was shot in the kneecap.
Yeah.
Hooray for teachers. But, when you pull the fire alarm in a movie theater, it makes all the lights go on and the alarms go off in the theater.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, and actually, all the theaters, everyone, were hearing a message to exit. So, everybody... It's kind of all, like they release details and like different periods and nobody actually sits and gives you the whole story. So I don't know, I think the movie theater people from the movie theater may have come on the intercom and told people to evacuate, or I'm not sure if it was just from them pulling the fire alarm, but either way, it all happened very quickly. The police responded in less than like a minute. So the shooter actually went into the crowd of people that were going out the exit. And it seems like his plan was
to blend in.
And to leave with all those people. His keys were right there. He was ready to go. They found lots of disguises and wigs in his motel room. So it looked very much like he had every intention of escaping. And
the guy wasn't from Lafayette. No. He was a drifter.
He's from Alabama. That's the last place he lived.
Okay.
But he just kind of was described as a drifter. He'd been evicted about a year ago from his home.
Yeah.
He'd only been in Lafayette since the beginning of July.
Okay.
So he'd been here for like 23 days or something. Not long.
So he had his keys on the car.
Yeah, and so he got out. He got to the exit door, or maybe right outside of it, and he realized that there were police already out there. So he turned around and went back in, started shooting some more, and then shot himself.
Do we know if anybody was injured or
the second time whenever he went back in? I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
So
I imagine that they're probably, most of the people I would imagine I don't know.
Would have been out by
but there were also people going out that exit where he was.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't know that part. But
so Krista Thursday night was texting me all this, and I didn't know what to do or how to respond to that. It was very
something you can do. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, it was very strange.
And at the time, you don't know if it was a guy by himself, or
right.
you know, like they evacuated all the movie theaters.
Yeah, and there was a bomb.
So they called hazmat out because there was something suspicious in his vehicle.
Oh, okay.
I think you know, it took them a minute to figure out which vehicle was his. They weren't automatically like, they didn't know, you know, they had to search all the vehicles in the parking lot. Like, you don't think about how big of a deal it is, and how, I don't know, like, how inclusive your search of a crime scene has to be. Like, I've never even thought about all those things before. Like, they had all these vehicles in the parking lot, and they didn't know which one was his. They didn't even know if he was even parked in the parking lot. And when they discovered it was his vehicle, then they weren't sure if he had something in it. He actually, whenever he was evicted from his house a year ago, he like booby-trapped the house he was evicted from. And like tampered with gas lines and things. So I think they were warranted in being cautious, but they found something suspicious in his vehicle. So all the reporters are outside the movie theater, and all of a sudden they were like making them, you know, like get back and go across the street. But there was nothing that was dangerous in his vehicle. So anyway, there were 2 people that died. He obviously killed himself, and then 2 victims that died. One died at the theater. One was pronounced dead at the hospital. They both had their funerals today. They were both women. One was 21. She was a young girl from Franklin, and the other she was in her early 30s, and she was actually a pretty prominent figure in our community. She was, she and her husband own a little shop that's literally like a mile from our house here. It's really cool, kind of Louisiana-inspired shop, and she also was part owner of this really cool local t-shirt company, and she was in a local band, and she's a really big part of like the arts community here. So they both had their funerals today.
And wasn't there one person that was in critical condition that's getting better?
I think they've been upgraded to fair. That's the last I heard. But they still, it's like still a pretty serious thing. But I think all the other people had injuries that they can recover from.
So that's good. So pray for our community here. It's, you know, every time I go to the airport, and I see it hanging on the wall whenever you go upstairs. It says Lafayette was voted the happiest place in the United States.
I was actually reading it yesterday.
By the Wall Street Journal.
We were voted like the best college town, the best food, the happiest place in the United States to live, the best like mid-sized city to find a job. Like,
and then,
which honestly, I start to wonder, like, did that make us a target?
Like, I was talking about that with someone at VidCon. If, you know, because they're like, you know, this is the happiest place, let's go try and wreak havoc. I can go and disrupt it.
Actually, I remember hearing that he was trying to start like a business here. Like he had been inquiring about like one of those quick oil change places. So then that doesn't, you know, then it doesn't feel so random. He was considering like starting a business here, and you know, it wasn't that he just, you know,
let's pick a place and go wreak havoc.
Wreak havoc. But I wasn't as disturbed when I thought that his whole plan was to commit suicide. I was very much more disturbed when I thought that he was going to try to get away. Other people thought that was weird for me to feel that way, but I was like, no, I mean, like, if he had some kind of mental illness and emotional problems, and, you know, he just thought he was going to end his life, and he wanted to take some people down with him, that made more sense to me than him wanting to just go and kill some people in a movie theater and then get away with it. You know? Like, made me more confused. More disturbed.
Definitely I don't know, it's a strange situation, being that it happened here in, you know, our hometown, our city.
I don't know, how many miles is that from our house?
Oh, it's
5 or 6.
I don't know, up the road. I mean, like it's super close.
It's a mile from our church, actually.
If even a mile.
It's a little less,
So, so tomorrow I'd like to go around and just kind of show like how the community is coming together, and everybody's supporting each other, and, you know, local businesses, instead of having their, you know, daily specials or whatever, they have signs, you know, about praying for the victims and all that. So I'd like to just kind of go and highlight some of those tomorrow. So,
do you know, it's actually the most disturbing thing to me about the social media, because I really tried to stay away from social media about this because I knew people were going to be, like gun control and
right.
yada, yada,
Yeah.
which nobody in this city wants to hear. Like, nobody wants to hear about your thoughts on gun control right now.
Sportsman's paradise. We have guns.
Yeah, and we're just not the time to bring all that up.
Right.
People have just buried their wives and their daughters today, but I remember that you telling me it was the #1 thing trending on Twitter.
Oh yeah, the Lafayette,
yeah. So I started reading. I've never in my life clicked on the #1 trending thing and just started reading tweets before. I know people probably think that's crazy, but so it's the first time ever. I was so like upset at all the people that were saying on Twitter that we didn't need prayers, we needed gun control. And I really or so many people saying like prayers aren't gonna help, and I don't know. I was disturbed at so many people that really like thought that.
Right.
That I'm trying not to use profanity. You complaining and venting your anger on Twitter about gun control was more productive than just praying for people.
Right.
Nobody in Lafayette thinks that. Everybody here thinks that you should be praying for the family. We think that you should be praying for the shooter who killed himself. Yeah. We think that you should be praying for just like people's morals to improve in our country, because it's for us, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we believe that people have the choice to make bad decisions. So if everyone had higher morals, then they wouldn't be making bad decisions that would hurt people. And that's really like the root of all of it. Not whether or not guns are controlled. I mean, everybody in my family owns guns, and they have never, ever hurt anybody. You know, like...
And I don't want to get into the whole topic of gun control.
No, but it's not even, our people on the radio the next morning were calling in and saying that, well, now the theaters need to have metal detectors. And he could have gone anywhere. He could have gone into a grocery store. He could have gone into a post office. He could have walked into a school. He just went into a public place and started shooting people. Right. We can't have metal detectors and...
A metal detector is not going to do anything, because it's what you do with whatever you have that can be either positive or negative. I mean, I could kill someone with a pencil, and a metal detector is not going to stop that.
Well, I'd like to argue that Lane probably could kill someone with a pencil.
Okay, somebody could kill somebody with a pencil.
There's someone out there who could do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, anything can be dangerous whenever you're trying. Now, people are going to be like, yeah, but you can kill so many people faster with a gun. Yeah, but the overall thing has nothing to do with what weapon he used or where he walked into. The whole point is people's morals, like what they're capable of doing to other people. Right. Yeah. So if everybody was treating each other the way that
they would want to be treated,
the way that we know is the right way to treat people, you know, then we wouldn't have any more problems.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the world does not work that way.
I know, and it seems so strange. Like, I think it's like so easy. Like, I never would in a million years steal something from somebody, cause physical harm to somebody. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, even people gossiping about other people, and, you know, like, even that sometimes I'm like, how do people just like think that that's okay? Like, to just be saying terrible things about people, like that. I'm appalled at that. Yeah. So the thought of going into a public place and just shooting random people, like, that's so far from, like,
from your paradigm.
Yeah, that I don't know. So,
anywho, that's what we wanted to talk about today. So, like I said, tomorrow try and kind of show how the community is coming together and whatnot. So that's it, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thank you. How are you, buddy?